Hi, my name is Mark Russell, one of the financial wellness board members at National Debt Relief. In this video, I'm going to walk you through an overview of debt relief, how it works, and then dive into explaining how National Debt Relief's trademark debt relief program works and answer some commonly asked questions. Hopefully, this will give you some helpful information so you can make the best decision for yourself and your financial future. And the first question you might have is, okay, what is debt relief in general? So let's start with a quick overview of debt relief as a whole. As debt relief programs reduce the amount of debt someone owes through a negotiation process that's handled by the debt relief company. Then after that, a repayment plan is put together that lets the person pay off their remaining debt. By going this route, people are able to resolve their debt quicker than if they were to maintain making minimum payments. And ultimately, they'll end up saving a lot of money. Now, you might be asking yourself, why do people choose it and when is it a good option? Well, people often choose it as a way to reduce their debt because their current debt amount is so high that it could take years, if not decades, to repay, or they want to reduce their time to pay off their debt. With debt relief, it could take anywhere from less than a year to 2 to 4 years on average to pay off your debt versus paying debt for the unforeseen future. Or they want to get their payments down and or consolidated so repayment becomes more manageable. Or they want to avoid bankruptcy, which can impact your credit and stay on your record for 7+ years. But at the end of the day, people choose it as a way to get on a path to financial recovery quicker. If you could pay off your debt faster, then you can start rebuilding your credit and get on the road to financial stability and security much quicker. Now, different programs have different eligibility requirements. For National Debt Relief's trademark program in particular, there are certain debts that qualify and can be enrolled, and then there's others that can't. The debt that can be enrolled is called unsecured debt, and you're probably wondering, what is that? This means that debt isn't backed by an asset. So things like credit card debt, medical debt, some private student loans, personal loans, retail cards, back rent, and certain types of utility and professional service bills are eligible to be enrolled in this program. On the other hand, things like mortgages, because they're backed by your home, or car loans, which are backed by your car, aren't able to be part of this program. Now let's talk about why I'm a fan of National Debt Relief's program in particular, and why their program stands out from all the other debt relief options that are out there. So let's begin. National Debt Relief is an industry leader in the debt relief and debt settlement space, and they're the largest debt relief company in the United States of America. They've helped over 500,000 people resolve their debt since 2009, and they strive to provide a trusted and dependable service that their clients can rely on. And if my opinion isn't enough, they've also been rated and ranked by some other reputable organizations, like the Better Business Bureau, where they have received an A+ ratings, and by Forbes Advisor, who ranked them #1 for the best of 2023 debt settlement companies. And on top of that, they've also been recognized by organizations like Bankrate, Consumer Affairs, and USA News. But you're probably like, okay, got it. But what are the clients saying? Their clients also have a lot of great things to say about them. They have over 70,000 5-star reviews from clients on review sites like Google, Consumer Affairs, and Trustpilot. Yes, 70,000, 70000. That's a lot of reviews. But more than just helping people with debt, they understand the impact of being in an overwhelming financial situation when it comes to money and debt and the effects it has on people emotionally, physically, and psychologically. In a study they did in 2021 about the hidden costs of debt, they saw clients reported feeling increased amount of stress, anxiety, moodiness, and they backed away from people and things that they loved. And they suffer from loss of sleep and relationship issues, all because of debt. And in the famous words of a great poet, ain't no one got time for that. So their approach to debt relief isn't only about resolving immediate debt needs, they also focus on helping their clients holistically, which they have a really fancy term called whole human finance. Their ultimate goal is to help clients achieve long-term financial stability and security so each client can get access to tools, resources, support, and guidance aimed at empowering them to build a stronger financial future for themselves and their families. They also take the reins on things like creditor conversations, negotiations, and issue resolutions so their clients don't have to. That way, they can focus on the things that they actually like to do, like spend time with friends and family or doing things that make them happy or feel fulfilled. Now, you might be asking yourself, okay, cool, Mark, I get that. I get what they do. But how does this all work? Don't worry, I got you. We're gonna cover that next. Let's start with how you can enroll in the program. You have two ways to start the process. You can simply call 800-485-0769, or you can fill out an online application at nationaldebtrelief.com or click on the link in the description below. Either of these options will get you in touch with a certified debt specialist at National Debt Relief who can give you a consultation that's completely free and zero obligation. They'll chat through your goals, your situation, and recommend a customized plan for you. And while there will be a soft credit pull during the consultation, soft credit pulls have no impact on your credit score. So you don't have to worry about that during the call. If you decide to move forward with the plan, your certified debt specialist will send your full application through to our underwriting team. They're in charge of making sure all the information that was provided is accurate, and that process normally takes less than 10 minutes. If your application is approved, you'll be officially enrolled in the program. Okay, so let's talk about what happens once you're enrolled. Once you're enrolled, a dedicated savings account will be set up in your name and your monthly deposits will be scheduled. Throughout the program, you'll make regular deposits based on your agreed upon plan into your dedicated savings account. These deposits will then be used to pay for your program. So basically negotiate payoff amounts to your creditors as well as the program fees. There's also an online portal you can use to manage your program, which make things like scheduling, adding or editing deposits, tracking your progress, reviewing the creditor offers, getting updates, and submitting requests for help super easy. Now, one thing I know that can be difficult for some clients is the wait time between when you start making deposits and then when they get their first creditor offer. And I completely understand that. Anxiety can build and you might start questioning whether you made the right choice. And these are all totally understandable. The reality is that for most clients, they get their first negotiated creditor offer in about 4 to 6 months after they enroll. And there's a few reasons for that. Your funds need to grow in your account before offers can be made and accepted. Once the offer is made, payoff needs to happen right away, which means that there needs to be funds available before an offer can be accepted, or what I like to call stack up your bread. But while your funds are accumulating in your dedicated savings account, National Debt Relief is working behind the scenes with your creditors to negotiate down your enrolled debts. And while it does feel like it takes a long time, the good news is that on average, their clients are able to see about a 30% reduction on their owed debt amount, which includes all the fees, so the wait really pays off. And because they've been doing this since 2009, they have a very strong, long-lasting relationship with the creditors. And because of that, they often get better offers for their clients than other debt relief companies and settlement companies. As you can see from this example, they were able to save David almost 40% off his starting debt amount, which saved him a lot of money versus the other options he could have considered, and which would have increased the total amount that he would have had to pay over time. So while the wait is hard, it can result in you saving a lot of money in the end. Now let's talk about what happens once a negotiated offer is received. As soon as National Debt Relief gets an offer for you, they share it with you for your approval. If and only if you approve the offer, they'll accept it on your behalf and use the funds that you build up in your dedicated savings account to start paying off your creditors. This process continues till all creditor offers are approved and all debt is paid off. Now you might be wondering, what if you don't approve the offer? They'll just go back and keep working with the creditor to try to get the offer that works best for you. If for any reason they can't get to an offer that you approve of, they'll work with you to reassess your goals and figure out the path forward together. Overall, how long it takes for someone to graduate varies based off of how much debt they have when they enroll, how many creditors they have debt with, the types of debt they have, and the amount and frequency of their monthly deposits. But typically, National Debt Relief clients finish their programs within 12 to 48 months. For some, it could be quicker, and for some, it could be longer. You'll get a better idea of how long your program will take during your consultation, and they can work with you to customize it based off of your preferences. What I also love about National Debt Relief is that they get that situations change over time, and they'll always work with you to make any adjustments you need so the program always works for you. Now let's talk about credit score impact. People have a lot of questions about this, and it makes sense. Because of certain laws, I can only discuss credit scores to a certain degree. And your boy doesn't want to get in any trouble, so I'm going to give you everything that I can give you and do my best to share as much as I can. During the initial phases of the program, you may see a drop in your credit score. This is expected and is a normal part of the debt relief process. since it is a hardship-based program. As you progress through the program and your accounts are paid off, they should show up as paid on your credit report, which should help your credit score recover. And once your debt is paid off, it's going to be much easier for you to start rebuilding your credit. You can also speak with a credit professional if you'd like to know the ins and outs of credit score impact. Now you're probably wondering, okay, how do they get paid though? As it relates to fees, all fees for National Debt Relief Services are taken out of your dedicated savings account funds. So you won't need to put any more money into the program to cover the fees. They also don't charge any fees up front, and they don't collect anything until we see true results. What this means is that you have to get a creditor offer that you approve of, and the payments to your creditors need to start before any fees are collected. And the best part is, if they can't sell your accounts for less than what you owe, you won't pay them anything. A common question National Debt Relief clients have is, will I ever need to pay more than the monthly program deposit amount? And that answer is nah. You will never have to pay more. However, some offers come in from creditors that might be too good to pass up. For example, the overall savings might be really good. If that happens, they'll share that offer with you, even if you may not have enough in your dedicated savings account at that time. They'll work with you to see if it truly makes sense for you and how much you'll need to add to your account to be able to accept that offer. Having said that, it's always okay to decline the offer if you don't think you'll have the extra funds available, and you'll keep working with the creditor for another offer that works best for your budget. When it comes to taxes, it's not as straightforward as you might think. So unfortunately, the answer is it depends. For some forgiven debt, your creditor may send what's called a 1099-C cancellation of debt tax notice. This information is also reported to the IRS, so you may need to report it as other income on your tax return. That's truly what that form is all about. However, if you have more liabilities or debt than assets at the time you receive and approve your offers, you may not have to pay taxes on that forgiven debt. As a National Debt Relief client, you can always ask them very specific questions related to your taxes, and they'll help guide you through the process. Now let's talk about collection calls. Now I understand that they can be very frustrating and stressful, but they are also very common and end up happening to most of us. Trust me, growing up, that's all the calls that we got. The job of the collection agency is to get the creditor the amount of money that they are owed. And unfortunately, it's not uncommon for them to use scare and pressure tactics to get someone to pay the full amount that they owe. For example, they may tell you that they don't work with debt relief companies when in fact they do. The thing to keep in mind is that you don't have to answer them when they call, and you don't need to talk with them. And if you're a National Debt Relief client, there are steps that will help you minimize or potentially end these calls entirely. Once a client enrolls in the program, they get information on how to handle creditor calls and a guide on ways to minimize and eliminate the calls completely. The debt journey can be a lot for anyone. Trust me, I've been through it. Even with a partner like National Debt Relief, natural feelings of stress, anxiety, feeling alone or out of control can creep up at different times. Your emotional and psychological journey is just as important as the path to resolving your debt and becoming more financially secure. National Debt Relief's team works closely with each client to make sure they're set up for success and are feeling confident in their program and progress. They're also available to answer any questions, discuss any concerns, or just talk something through if you need or want to. Their team is a huge support system to their clients throughout their entire debt journey in whatever way they need to be. They also have a Facebook group specifically for clients and graduates, which connect people who are going through and have been through their own debt journey. The community has over 2,000 people in it, and it's a great way to get additional support and encouragement from people who deeply understand what you're going through. You can also ask questions or ask for tips from people who have been in a very similar situation as you. Having access to this community can lessen the stress and anxiety of the debt journey. I hope this information has helped shed some light on debt relief as a whole, and also how National Debt Relief works, so you can make a well-informed decision on how to best navigate your debt situation. If you ever have any questions, you can always call them at 800-485-0769 or find them on social media using the handle National Debt Relief. Thanks for watching.